Kick it off, Marcia.
Welcome to Count It Off with your host, Jeff Dayton, where we explore the world of music through the eyes of some fascinating guests. So get tuned up and let's count it off.
Well, thank you, Marcia. I'm Jeff Dayton here with another episode of Count It Off, your podcast that gives you a fresh new window into the world of music. And I have a dear, dear friend here to share his story with you and a bunch of his tunes. So I'm going to just let you know this guy, his name is Chris Daniels. He's from Denver, Colorado. I think he's originally from the same state I'm from, which is a highly top classified secret. But we'll dive into his stuff. And why should I talk anymore? This guy's had a great career, and is having a great career, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, hey, Chris, how are you?
Oh, Jeff, it's so good to hear your voice. I'm doing good, buddy. Hanging in there.
Man, I tell you what, people, you are in for some cool stuff here. I went to chrisdaniels.com, which you should do as well. Chris Daniels and the Kings with Freddie Gowdy are celebrating their 40th year.
It's the 20th album and the 40th year.
Wow. Yes.
And, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've lost the decibels that I can prove it.
Yeah. So 40, Blues with Horns Volume 2. And there was another one, Blues with Horns Volume 1. They've got a whole lot of music out, as Chris just said, 40 years and 20 albums. Freddie joins Chris as an inductee into the Colorado Music Hall of Fame. That's pretty darn cool. Chris, you were inducted in 2013?
That's right. Yeah, along with incredible Judy Collins.
Wow.
It was good company.
Yeah, and here's another list of people that the band, the Kings and Chris have backed up. Garth Brooks, Vince Gill, Amy Grant, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, John Oates, Bonnie Raitt. Oh, Be Still My Beating Heart. The Coasters, the Drifters, Sonny Landreth, another guitar god in a lot of our lives, and Al Cooper, the legend, John Cowan, Sam Bush, David Bromberg. I mean, wow, that's something else, man.
It's been an amazing. I feel very, very blessed. As you probably know, when anybody starts out a music career, they're not setting their sights in a certain direction. They're just lucky if they can get the gig at the local coffee house.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I feel blessed.
Well, and I do too. When did you first get sights on your goal to be a musician? I mean, what happened?
Well, I started playing guitar when I was about 10, 11, maybe. I was a really dyslexic kid. There wasn't a lot of things that I did well. I was smart enough, but you wouldn't know it on paper. So I started playing guitar when I was 10, and that was where the doors started opening, where I started feeling like I had a home, where I started feeling competent, and where I was fascinated by what was going on with it. These 6 strings that you could go to bluegrass, you could go to country, you could go to blues, and all right there on those 6 strings.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me when I heard the music on the radio. I wanted to be in on that.
When I was a really young kid, we used to cut out a guitar out of cardboard and tape it to a tennis racket and lip sync.
And jam away. Oh, my first one, for some reason, there was a cheap old ukulele with no strings on it. As we called it a ukulele back then, we know now the Hawaiian pronunciation is ukulele. But I blasted that thing. I was jamming along with everything my mom had in the record collection, and I was convinced in my mind I was going to be a musician. Was it that way for you?
No, we had a family band. My mother played hubba tubba bass. My dad played ukulele. There's a picture of us, and I'm just sitting there with my eyes closed and a set of cymbals waiting for my part to come in and go crash.
That's a good one. Oh, that's really good.
I was about 5 years old.
Oh, man.
But I got into my first electric guitar was a Sears Silvertone, and it was great. It had 2 pickups on it, and it was just a joy, And then my first acoustic guitar that I could actually play was my sister's Goya. And she taught me 3 chords, D, G, and E. And I don't think I put that thing down for another month.
Yeah. I remember I was taking guitar lessons at a store from an old guy that wanted me to take, read notes and terrible songs, unimaginative lesson books and things like that. And I rebelled right away. And I had a friend whose babysitter knew how to play guitar, and she taught me the chords for "Give Me My Boots and Saddle."
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was blowing in the wind, but you're right. I'd forgotten that. In White Bear Lake years and years ago, I took guitar lessons, 2 guitar lessons, and then the guy, the state, they wanted you to play accordion, so he was very grudgingly teaching me guitar, and he kept trying to convince me that I should play accordion. I probably should have, but
It's like, yeah. Well, you could have done something with that. That sure is fun when you've got a good accordion player around, but I think you've done all right,
yeah,
Chris.
no kidding.
You've done all right.
No kidding.
Hey, let's give people a taste of what Chris Daniels sounds like. This is a tune that I really dig on your collection of things. I even dove into iTunes, and I purchased some Chris Daniels. Check this out.
Oh, my God.
My window, so I opened up the door. I kick and shout, try and shoo them out. Then in come a couple more. Sister Fortune, won't you smile on me? I'm as ready as a man can be. Worst luck that I've ever had. I need some good luck band. I need some good luck band. I need a brand new mojo. Might call the Hoodoo Man. To do me well, I ain't got a better plan, no. Sister Fortune, won't you do your best? Girl, don't dog me like all the rest. This situation got me hopping mad. I need some good luck bad.
As Jim Carrey said, smoking. That is so cool, man. I just love that sound, and I've got to compliment the mix, the arrangements, the balance on the mix and stuff, and your vocal is killing it, brother. That's amazing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's a song by a good friend, Dave Steen, out of Nebraska. And Dave has written a couple of songs for us over the years. It's just a great songwriter, and it's really fun to find that tune. And he sent it out to me. We were starting to work on the 40th record, and he said, "I don't know if it'll work." And oh man, we just went to town with it.
Yeah, that's great. And you've always had horns with you. I remember seeing you, and this is one of my favorite memories of the hardest working man in show business. You were in Tempe, I think it was Tempe or Scottsdale, Arizona, way back in the 80s somewhere. And you came to town, and man, it was like James Brown from the suburbs, man. You were down on your knees. Guys were throwing the cape over you. Might as well have been. I mean, it was just sensational, and you were killing it on that Stratocaster. And
you're too kind.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's funny. The whole horn band thing. There weren't horn bands in Colorado. Time we formed in 1984, there just hadn't been one. So we were looking at Jack Mack and Tower of Power and Blood, Sweat, and Tears and all those.
Yeah.
And that was our inspiration. We were going to just do it for one night. So be careful of those one night stands. They last a long time.
Well, man, what a sound though. I mean, horns, if you can get them right like you have them there, they are really right. And that just, makes me want to dance, and I'm not a dancer. Ask my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, yeah,
she
right.
threatened me. She said, "Don't dance; it'll burst the bubble." So
Aw,
yeah,
aw.
yeah, I know. So what led you? I mean, what was the next stop on your, being terrible on the guitar and fighting off the accordion wave? Where did it lead you
Well,
next?
the first place that professionally it led me was in 1970. I met up with a guy named Will Lucky, who's since passed on, but he asked me to join a band called Magic Music, which an all acoustic kind of a cross between Pentangle and Crosby, Stills and Nash,
Wow.
and had a lot of sort of British folk music, deep harmony, and a flute player who was just marvelous. We had a 6-year run and did everything wrong you can do in the music business.
Oh man.
We were opening for Cat Stevens one night at a big, huge auditorium. James Taylor and Joni Mitchell were in the audience in the dressing room, and we got a standing ovation, and we took it, and then proceeded to get 3 more, and we took all of them.
In front of James Taylor and Joni Mitchell, who were on the bill too?
Yeah. Yeah, not supposed to do that.
Boy, oh boy,
So
oh boy.
we were invited off the tour.
Yeah. You in a heap of trouble now, son.
But we had offers from Capitol Records, and
Yeah.
it got to be almost the kind of a thing where it became a lesson for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, a funny guy named Lee Aronson, who was a co-creator of 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory, got me out of the blue on the old interweb and sent me an email and said, "Whatever happened to Magic Music?" This was in 2015. And I said, "Well, we had that 6-year run, and then we've all stayed in touch, and we do reunions every now and then." And he said, "Well, I want to make a movie." And sure enough, he did. He came through with it. So there's a movie out there called 40 Years in the Making, the Magic Music movie. It's on, Amazon Prime and iTunes. I don't think it's not on Netflix, but it won a whole bunch of awards. But it was about how to do everything wrong in the music business. So I did that for 6 years.
Yeah.
And then my son was born. And sadly, his mom passed away from cancer very young. So I was a single dad.
Yeah.
And so I went back to school figuring I need to have some kind of occupation. Graduated in music and journalism. I thought I was going to write. And that led to me coming to my next big career move, which was Russell Smith from the Amazing Rhythm Aces.
Right.
Russell hired me as the pedal steel, mandolin, banjo, utility guitar player. I think I played everything but bouzouki. And we toured for 3 years.
Wow.
And that was the birth of the Kings. Russell decided he just wanted to focus on being at home and being with his family and writing songs in Nashville.
Yeah, and that was the Third Rate Romance group.
Yeah, that was the Third Rate Romance group.
Yep.
And he had some great success. Keep It Between the Lines and some other really good songs.
Yeah.
I think that was Alan Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. So we had this incredible band. And so we said, well, let's just do a wild thing. Let's add a horn section for one night and learn a whole bunch of old Tower of Power and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And people went nuts for it. So that was March 14th, 1984, I think. And ever since, that's been the Kings.
Was that the type of band you brought to Arizona the time that we were there together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That was, we had a manager named Michael Barnett who had been living in Phoenix, and he knew the folks who ran the Roxy and down there. And he said, well, y'all ought to come down and play. So we did.
That was a blast. You guys were really impressive.
Oh, it was fun.
Phoenix has always had a cool scene, but I don't know if that was really that prevalent there back then.
I don't think it was. It was mostly the radio station. Radio has always been really good to us. KZON was the old Phoenix station. And they grabbed onto this record of ours and just started playing it like crazy. Same thing with Cities 97 in Minnesota.
Oh, wow. That's a great channel.
Yeah, we've had, that song was When You're Cool. The one that KZON was playing was a song called I Like Your Shoes. And so we seem to be big into apparel songs.
Well, speaking of your
shoes,
songs,
sunglasses.
Yeah, let's check out one here that I want to keep people informed on your music. This is from your 40th anniversary album, and this is called Sweet Memphis.
There's enough blues in the Delta that didn't need anybody else. Memphis, she was good to me, sweeter than the evening breeze. Up on the bridge, across the river, singing Memphis, baby, please be good to me.
Come on, man. I love it. I'm going to just jump in here. I recognize that tone on that slide guitar, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Tell us about him.
Yeah. So, well, I met Sonny Landreth when Sonny was living in a trailer park in Boulder, Colorado.
Wow.
And we became fast friends, and I think he's played on about 6 or 7 King's records, and then the other person on that track is Billy Payne on keyboards. And I'd met Billy, from Little Feat, and we started doing the record, and he happened to come through town, and I said, well, you want to? And he said, hell yes.
Oh, right.
So I got Billy on keyboards, the Sonny Landreth. Boy, it doesn't get any better than that. You got to run to keep up.
Yeah, that is sweet. Yeah, and that kind of, Glenn used to call that walking in tall cotton and wiping your butt on it in the top leaf.
That's all right. I think he had that right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's.
You feel like you're in rarefied air in that kind of company, don't you?
You really do, and those players, you're one of those players, Jeff. Where you and I have done stuff together where all of a sudden, you're sitting next to someone like you or like Billy or like Sonny, and you do something that's just, oh man, you got goosebumps going up and down the arms, going, how'd you think of that?
Oh, man. Thank you for including me in that, man. I did it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Grateful as can be.
That gig we did a while back.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we just threw a caution to the wind and jumped in deep, and oh man, people went for it. It was really fun. And seeing the reception you got, anytime you come back to town, holler and we'll put something together cool, and we'll make sure that
I'd love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And folks, I don't know if this is comfortable for Chris or not, but he's been through a little bit, and I hope that maybe you can, it takes a lot of prayers and it takes a lot of divine intervention, but you want to tell us about what's been going on with you? Well, just start with first of all, this year I'm also celebrating 40 years clean and sober, and I'm
boy, that's, that was a real life changer for me.
Couldn't resist.
No, I'm glad. I couldn't tell if it was a train whistle or applause.
A little of both.
And then I got real sick in 2010. I was diagnosed with a thing called acute myeloid leukemia, something you never want your doctor to say to you. And I had about a 5 or 15% chance for survival. But my sister turned out to be a bone marrow match. So I got a bone marrow transplant. And which means all my bone marrow is girl. And I have a funny story about that. I'll make it quick. They were doing some lab tests on me a week ago, just, making sure I'm still trucking down the road. And the laboratory sent me a little thing, said, "So, Mr. Daniels, are you a man or a woman?" And I had to laugh and said, "Well, I'm all guy.
Yeah.
My ex-wife will tell you that for sure." But I said, but it does every now and then on the blood test show up as girl because all my bone marrow is female.
Wow.
But I survived, and that was 15 years ago. And that whole one day at a time thing really changed. It went from, you getting through one day at a time to, man, I get one day at a time. It's a gift. So that changed things a lot. And then for about the last 8 years, one of the side effects, you put a Ford engine in a Chevy. It's pretty good, but there's some side effects. And one of them is that the immune system functions a little off. And so it threw a bunch of stuff at my lungs. So I've got pulmonary fibrosis, which is fatal, but, I've had it for 8 years now. I walk 4 miles every single day.
Wow. To
keep my lungs open. And, and then I'm singing in the band. We're doing 40 or 50 shows this year. So, by the grace of God, as they say, I'm still here bugging people and pissing people off just like I used to.
Well, and you look good without your hair too. I got to say that, folks. He's a handsome man with or without.
Yes. As one follically challenged person to another.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I love that you're stoked about every single day because, man, is that a gift or what?
It's, I've got the best group of guys ever that I work with. They're just amazing. And I'm getting to do things that I never thought I'd get a chance to do. I'm producing records. I'm producing 2 records this summer. And one of them, the guy who's doing the record wants me to come over to Abbey Road to record with him there. And I'm thinking, I'll believe it when I'm sitting in, the Paul McCartney chair there. But if that happens, boy, talk about a bucket list. Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah. So I've been producing records and that's fun. And I have no complaints. And my son is 52 years old now. And I have 2 granddaughters and one of them's in the Fame High School in New York. And wants to be in music, and I've tried to convince her 6 ways to Friday it's a bad idea, and she just laughs at me.
Oh, I understand that. We were playing at a restaurant and had a little trio going, and there was this dad coming through with a sweet little princess of a girl. She was probably 2, maybe 2.5 or 3, and she was just darling. And I said, "Stop right there, Dad. And we got to just point out this beautiful little girl there. And honey, it's so nice of you." I said, "This is probably the first band she's ever heard, isn't it?" He goes, "Yeah, it is." And I said, "Well, sweetie, I've got some advice for you. Always listen to your mom and dad. Always be good to your friends. And never, ever marry a musician."
Oh,
yes.
Oh, sage wisdom there. Oh, grasshopper.
Indeed. Well, let's take a listen to something that might relate to that story. This is one of Chris Daniels' songs. We're talking with Chris Daniels, Colorado Music Hall of Fame, Telluride perennial. In fact, somebody told me that you'd been an artist at Telluride so long that they just said, "Well, just be an announcer because we've heard you every year forever." So, yeah.
So that's my 25th year this year, but I still sit in. I sat in with Sam Bush this year.
Oh, man.
It's a little intimidating, man, because, Sam brings some pretty good people with him. I had Jerry Douglas on one side of me, and incredible guitar player from Australia. Oh, my brain's just
Tommy Emmanuel?
Yeah, Tommy Emmanuel on the other side.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, okay,
yeah,
this is a serious company here.
And that's on YouTube, folks, so you can check it out, because I actually saw some of that band. Here is a song of Chris Daniels. This is called Better Days. Is that Sam on the Mendo?
Yeah, that's a funny one. That's a combination of two different mandolin players.
Fell in love.
That's Sam and a guy named Ernie Martinez.
Too soon.
And the solo is all Sam.
What are you gonna do? Feels like a train leaving town, trying to put your ticket down. Turn your life around, but there's better days coming your way. I can hear them as clear as this guitar that I play. Sure as the snow flies, you're gonna dry your eyes. Winter time will take you, shape and remake you. It's gonna be a whole lot better when spring arrives. I've been working overtime, and I had a lot on my mind, and I've been edgy, anger easily. Some friends been worrying about me, but there's better days coming my way. I can hear them as clear as this guitar that I play. Sure as the snow flies, I'm gonna dry my eyes. Winter time will take me, shape and remake me. It's gonna be a whole lot better when spring arrives.
That's our guest, Chris Daniels, and Better Days from his latest record. Well done, my brother. Wow.
Well, thanks. There was some fun players on that. Sam Bush was on that, and dear old friend Richie Furay from the old days of Buffalo Springfield, and of course all of his projects with Chris Hillman.
Yeah, and Buffalo Springfield and Poco. Yeah. Yeah, wow.
So Richie's an old friend from Colorado days. So it was fun to have him singing.
Man, there are great towns. I mean, L.A., Nashville, New York. I mean, we all have our claim to, having great players. But Colorado is where everybody likes to be. And you've had the traffic through there of all the people. I mean, my gosh, I know that Bonnie Raitt and Garth Brooks and people like that, they don't mind being out there at all,
No, they certainly don't. Yeah, that's how I met Billy. We were playing in a club. He was touring around, and he came to the club where we were playing. He said, God, I just love what you're doing. And I said, well, why don't you come on, sit in? We do Fat Man in the Bathtub. So he got up on stage, and if you've ever heard that song in the album, it has that long piano. I mean, it just goes out of time into these cool other areas. He did that we were in, all of us. I mean, I remember it as if it was yesterday. We're just sitting there staring at him going, where does he come up with this stuff? It was just amazing.
That was an amazing group. I got to see them live with Lowell George in the 70s. And, that.
Oh, my God.
It was, and Orleans, the original Orleans was opening.
Wow.
And the room was full of music. It was one of those big arenas, but I tell you what, the Feet owned it, man. It was one of the groove experiences of my life, and just in my 3 landmark groove experiences, Little Feat was that way. The Allman Brothers with Duane in the summer of '71 before he passed that fall.
Wow.
And Bob Marley, and Marley came through where I grew up, and a bunch of us with our arms folded going, okay, entertain me, And all of a sudden, by the end of the
Right.
show, I'm standing up in my folding seat going, whoa, just like totally into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think every musician has that experience at some point. And
Mhm.
I think it's one of our core things we hold on to is when you have that experience, when you go and hear somebody and
Mhm.
they motivate you out of just what it is that you're doing. And all of a sudden your brain goes, you mean you can do that? And you start going,
Mhm.
oh my God. Oh yeah. That's I want to at least absorb a part of that into what I'm doing. And it's magical.
Did you hit kind of a part where the wave was really cresting and you looked around and you went, I'm on top of a big wave right now?
I did. We had that happen 2 or 3 times. I, but you know that thing when you finally get to the end of the wave and you sort of go back over the backside and you're sitting there sort of
or bail out of your board. Yeah.
That was you're sitting on your board. Well, that was a lot of it for us. We would catch a big wave. We got signed. Our first big record deal was a European deal. And we went over to Europe every year for 10 years in a row. And we played one festival with 450,000 people right before Toto. We were literally the act before Toto. Oof. And everybody was singing our tunes and all this stuff. It was marvelous. It's just the old joke. Hey, we're big in Europe. And so it was great. And then, it would sort of mellow out. And so, it's the way it's been is truly very ocean-like, very wave-like. We catch one. And I mean, right now, it's just the players that I've got that I'm working with right now, they kick my ass every night. I love it. It's like, oh man, I got to keep up. This is great. So I'm practicing more than I have, and you wouldn't know it. I've just finished a 14-night run, 6 nights in Telluride, 1 night off. I guess it's 13 nights, and then another 7 nights in a row with the Kings. So my voice is a little on the rode hard and put away wet, but hey, I still can talk, so life's good.
I had a girlfriend when I'd have a bunch of dates in a row, and she'd say, "You sang last night, didn't you?" When I'd call her up, you get that kind of crusty. Yes, man.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm this is the first time I've asked anybody that. When you've had that experience at the top of the wave and you're with the world-class guys that you are, what happens when you hit the ground and you're questioning everything you're doing? Because we all do that. We all have that artistic insecurity or schizophrenia or whatever it is. Tell me about that kind of time. What pulls you up?
Fear is what's going through. And I've talked to actors and writers who have that same thing, which is they'll put out a good book or a good movie, and then they'll think, I'm a fraud. I'm not really as good as these people say. And the thing I've come to trust is it's not up to me to decide that. My job is to do the very best that I can. And if that means getting up in the morning, and walking 4 miles so my lungs open up and I'm ready for the show, and I go to the show, my job is for those people in front of me, and if I do a good job for them, if I make, any kind of impression on them where they come up after the show and say, hey, I just had the best time, then I've done my job. It's the old Mac McAnally song, my job that, Buffett recorded. So that's where I go. I go to the, it isn't about the fancy car or the record contract or any of that stuff. I got a job to do. And my job is making people happy or writing a song where somebody finds that part of themselves that I just talked about in me. I wrote a song called Sister Dolores when I was in the hospital, and the lyrics were, Sister Dolores, would you pray for me? Because I'm scared, basically. And it was as close as I could get to the most honest I could be. And I've had more people come up and say, man, that song really touched me. Not because they were religious or not because I'm religious, but just the admission of, you know, I'm between a rock and a hard place here, and I'm scared like crazy. And when you get that honest in a moment in songwriting, that's your job. That's the thing you hang on the wall inside your head and say, I did that verse came out good. Now let's see if on this next song I can get this next verse to be as good. So that's where I go with it. And it's a great question, because I'm just like anybody else. I'm going, well, some of my friends are doing, more prestigious, famous things than me. And I go, shut up, just go to work, do the best you can, and that's it.
Man, that's beautiful. And for those who don't know, we're talking with Chris Daniels. I hope you figured that out by now. And that song is available on YouTube as a really cool video. And I remember watching that because that song was a standout when I got that album from you that year. Is the video still out there?
Yeah, it's still up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a powerful video. You did a great job on that too, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I think, anytime we get that feeling of, oh man, maybe I'm a fraud. Maybe this song isn't as good as it should be. Maybe I should be more famous than I am, whatever it happens to be. I think you just go back to the basics. Why did you start doing it in the first place? Because you love it. And get back to that. Do what you love.
Man.
Do what you do. Whatever got you started doing it.
Man, that's great stuff. And everybody, I'll dare anybody to say they've never had a day like that, where we just think, we beat ourselves, And one guy said, I'm not much at all, but I'm all I think about. And we,
Killer.
Artists are so inward focused sometimes. And I have the same thing when I'm working on my 18th album right now, but I've also got 2 other albums that are going to be released from things that I've recorded before. And the 3 of them as a trifecta, as Grace used to say, the perfect trifecta. I'm going to release probably early September, something like that. And I'm digging for songs over and over and over, and nothing about me, but when you're writing and you're thinking either this song is really good, and then the next thing you're telling yourself is my songs suck wad, man. I just
Yep.
And sometimes I've had to call my friends and just like my claws are in the ceiling and I'm up there like, and I say, talk me off the ceiling. And they say, Jeff, don't forget you're here for a reason, and your work here is not done yet. I've wanted to burn the house down and leave Nashville so many times. And
I'll bet.
And people, luckily, I've got, my people who wrap their arms around me over the phone and they say, Jeff, you're doing the right thing. Just keep doing it.
I can't, that means a whole lot to me too. It's the people who are there when you hit that moment of self-doubt. I had a really good friend who said, it's okay. It's you're not being self-absorbed. It's self-focus. And it's okay to do that. That's what you have to do. I read a lot. There's this great writer named Richard Russo who's written all kinds of fun stuff. And he said, in some ways, being a writer is a selfish thing because you're always observing, and you're always going, oh yeah, there's that. Most of us throw little recordings onto our cell phones and listen to them later. Go, yeah, out, no. But every now and then, there's a little gem there. You go, oh, hey.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's the magic. That's the magic.
Here's some magic from Chris Daniels. We're going to rock out a little bit, party some. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. We're hitting the Wayback Machine on you, Chris.
Well, it was Saturday night on Field Street. Old man singing the blues. He made the guitar talk. He did the duck walk. 2 tall wingtip shoes. He wore midnight black sunglasses. The hippest I've ever seen. But the cat wasn't blind, he was giving the eye to every little sweet young thing. I stepped over and asked him why he wore sunglasses late at night. He said, when you're cool, the sun shines all the time. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. You can shuffle right through that rainstorm. Don't you fear, no, never mind. It's got a lot to do with the attitude of leaving the blues behind. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time.
Oh, go, 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 cat, go, man. All right, Chris. You know, you've got such a cool thing going on, and you're unabashedly yourself. And there's so much pressure in the world as artists. I guess for me, it's just that I've lived long enough that I really can't afford to pay attention to that. There's a bunny running down Music Row, but I'm not chasing it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for this project, it didn't start out to let's write hit songs and be a success. It was, let's make this noise. And it was all built around the sound of horns and the way they interplay. And, you know, that's what we were going after. And then we started to realize all the different ways that it happens. The When You're Cool album was the first. And we did a record called In Your Face that really did really well in Europe, but it's almost heavy metal in horns. We pushed it. We just thought, let's push it as hard as we can on that level. And then we swerved back into the lane and did an entire tribute record to the old jump blues, Louis Armstrong, Louis Jordan, Louis Prima, called Louis Louis. Somebody told me,
I remember that one.
Of the Louis.
I remember that record. Yeah, it's got the brown cover on it. That's a beauty. Well, hey, I think this song might be one of the songs from it. And again, I did some deep diving in iTunes, and y'all do that for Chris Daniels. I believe you pronounce this Azurte. This is really...
Azurte, that's right.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Gone and got the blues in Paris. Paris blues called Agite. How can I be blue in Paris? Easy 'cause you're far away. Can't lose this blues, this Agite. Sidewalk tables filled with people, always happy, always gay. Still I'm all alone in Paris, praying you'll return someday. Can't lose this blues, this Agite.
Man, that is really cool in the best way. And the arrangement is big league, man. That is something else. I've got to jump in and tell you, too, that I've actually got a song on my next record that I've written called Don't Go to Paris Alone. And
wow.
And I think it would be cool. It's going to be more of a traditional Dixieland thing. You know, I was standing just down the street from, following the river, and there was a group playing there. And they were traditional Dixieland. They had a 4-string banjo player, the upright bass. They had a cornet player, a clarinet player, and a trombone. And man, they said, you get up here and sing with us, you know. And it was so much fun. But that inspired me to have a song with that feel. My dad, and I don't think you ever knew my dad, George Dayton, was a weekend warrior playing with the United States Dixieland Band, and he played. Oh,
neat!
He loved all that stuff, and we had Louis Armstrong, and we had Sidney Bechet, and we had the Johnny Dodd and the Washboard Rhythm Kings, and we had all these records at home that nobody even knows about, and it influenced me. And then at one point, we had Eddie Rickenbacker on the boat out on Lake Minnetonka, Pretty cool deal.
Wow.
But I think I heard a little bit of a Django guitar in that, like the Machiavelli. What is it? The name of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a bit of that in there. There's Hazel Miller is singing harmony, and then old John Magny from the Subdues was doing the accordion, making it sound, giving it that Paris sound. But that was an old Louis Jordan tune.
Wow.
That he did. Not quite as Paris-y, not quite as he did it much more sort of timpani 5, but God, I heard that tune and went, oh, we got to record that one.
Yeah, and good, well done that you did. We're here with Chris Daniels from Denver, Colorado, and you and I have had some wonderful hangs all over. I remember when you were doing the music school in Denver, and when we had a day to hang out and go to some of your favorite places. Yeah. And, you know, you've done so many things, and you're educated, and you're well-traveled, and it shows in your music. But most of all, what moves me is your heart, and you've always had that optimism, that powerful, let's make good music, let's have fun with good people. And I think that the world needs a bunch of that, especially now.
Oh man, you're very kind. That means so much. I mean, it is what it's about. And the world really does need it right now. It's about the positive energy you can put out there. This is one of the reasons I teach. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Colorado. I've been teaching music business. And somebody asked me, well, why are you teaching that? And I said, well, I did everything you could do wrong in the music business. And I thought I'd pass on a few things that people might, benefit from my mistakes. And
if I were in your class, I would raise my hand and say, why are we in the music business if it's such a bad thing to do?
Yeah. The thing that encourages me, I'm constantly running into my kids. One of my kids is doing monitors for Lake Street Dive.
Oh, love that band, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he's out with them. Another one of my kids has got a huge sound company that's doing all kinds of stuff in the West and the Midwest. Mm-hmm. And then one of my kids is was road managing for Rihanna Giddens, and another is road managing for Mavis Staples. Mm. So, we were opening for Mavis, and they said, well, you need to talk with Mavis, and, because I said, really like to meet her. And I said, well, you need to talk with her manager. And I'm sitting in the hallway going, oh my God, this is the legend. She sang with, JFK and all this stuff. And I'm going, the door opens and the little head pokes out, and I hear, Professor Daniels? was one of my former students, Adam. I love that when it happens. It's just like, oh man, what a great moment.
Well, Chris, I've enjoyed every minute of this, and I would go twice as long, but we have kind of a time limit on the show, and so I'm going to let you take us out. Again, our gratitude to you. Please visit chrisdaniels.com. and check out all his stuff on iTunes. Go hit the like button on his videos on YouTube. You can even order CDs off his website, one of those wonderful things that the internet is all for. So,
all right. What I'm going to say is, Jeff, thank you. It's just, I can't wait to see you again. Big hugs, man. It's just such a joy to know you and to have had this journey together all of these years. So big hugs, and Thanks for even asking me to be a part of it. I'm honored.
All right. Give us a bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Hey, baby.
Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed this show. We invite you to check out all the other episodes and share this channel with all of your friends. Until next time, peace.